out a way to grow 3 years' worth of food here on a planet where nothing grows. Luckily, I'm a botanist.
Ridley Scott's 2015 hit movie The Martian grossed $228 million and gave NASA a real-life publicity boost. The movie was based on the best-selling book by first-time author Andy Weir.
Now Weir is out with his second novel called Artemis, and it is already a bestseller. It's a murder mystery that takes place on the moon. Jeff Glor sat down with Weir at the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum here in New York.
Cool. You're so inspiring for all of the engineers. Thank you so much.
I always wanted to be a writer, but I also like eating regular meals. So when I went to college, I went with software engineering, and writing ultimately was my hobby. I kind of bungled into success with The Martian, so now I get to be a writer.
With no publisher backing him, Andy Weir self-published The Martian in 2012. It was discovered by readers everywhere, pulled into Weir's unmistakable blend of real-world science and otherworldly drama. The Martian has since sold more than 5 million copies and led to one very successful movie.
I have no way to contact NASA, and even if I could, it's going to be 4 years until a manned mission can reach me.
You have a loyal following, and I know you hear a lot from the folks who read your stuff. You respond to every single email and notes.
Yep, every email. They took the time to email me. It seems only reasonable to respond. If they have questions, I'll answer the questions. If they just said, hey, I loved your book, I'm like, thanks.
It's probably supposed to be Mars, but it looks more like Venus.
It does.
Your tie gets an F. No.
I don't know. So what's your name?
A number of Weir's fans came to an Artemis book signing in the Space Shuttle Pavilion at the Intrepid.
If you actually do end up being the first person on Mars, this will be worth so much money.
Eager to hear more about a lunar crime novel set in the late 21st century, about a woman named Jasmine Bashara, who tries to pull off a huge heist.
Tell me about Jazz.
Jazz was born in Saudi Arabia, but when she was 6 years old, she and her father moved to Artemis, which is the only city on the moon. She grew up in sort of a low-income, blue-collar household. As an adult, which is when the story takes place, she's a porter, which basically means a delivery person, but she makes most of her money off of illegal smuggling.
Everyone seems to forget this, but I'm a smuggler, not a saboteur, not an action hero, not a city planner, a smuggler.
Actress Rosario Dawson narrates Artemis for Audible.
In the beginning, I had competition, but not anymore.
What else was it that attracted you to setting this on the moon?
The moon has an enormous amount of this mineral called anorthite. And if you smelt anorthite, if you refine it, what you get out of it is aluminum, silicon, calcium, and oxygen. It gives you aluminum to build your moon base and oxygen to fill it with. It's amazing. It's like it's asking to be colonized.
And this is fascinating for all of us, I think, when we're going to make these lunar trips regularly.
If you can drive the price of booster technology, if you can drive that price down to the point that middle-class people can afford to go into space, then you will have a space boom. A proper, huge explosion in the space industry, like the airline boom in the 40s and 50s.
Would you go to the moon if given
Nope.
You wouldn't?
No. I write about brave people. I'm not one of them. I'm an earthbound misfit. I'll stay right here, thanks. I'm afraid of flying. So.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I'm here in New York and I live in California. I have to take meds and stuff just to fly out here. I have a general problem with anxiety and have for most of my life. And I spent most of my life just thinking, well, I'm broken and there's nothing I can do about that. Now, there are meds for that. I take medication and therapy and stuff. People know there's a lot of stuff for depression, but they don't know that there's a lot of stuff for anxiety. So to anybody who hears this or has anxiety problems, I urge you, go talk to a doctor. Your anxiety is not just a failure of your personality, it's a physical problem that can be solved with medical solutions.
So how does that manifest itself in your characters?
When you're writing a story, if you're thinking of everything that can go wrong, that helps you write the story. Especially when you're writing stories about everything going wrong.
And it often does for your characters.
Yeah, my characters kind of have a rough time sometimes. This is the Enterprise. It never had a crew. It was used for aerodynamic testing.
Fans may be able to visit the city of Artemis in theaters soon. Fox optioned the rights to the book even before it was released.
So what's next for you?
I would love for Artemis to be my own personal playground where I can have lots and lots of different stories with different main characters, because it's a city.
You don't want to go to distant galaxies or stars?
I may well do that. In the immediate future, I've got ideas for a sequel for Artemis, but I've got book ideas enough to last me the rest of my life. Just sign?
Yes.
Okay. It's just, you know, what am I most excited by at any moment, and what do I think the readers want to read?
Hey!
For CBS This Morning, Saturday, Jeff Glor, New York.
I think that's the first time he's really talked about his anxiety, which is fascinating.
And how he uses that actually to make better books that are soon to be. I can't imagine Artemis isn't going to be made into a film.
He sure travels a lot in his imagination.
Yes, he does.